transition us.
Speaking of 400,000 goals,
you know what isn't going on out of style? Resident Evil.
Apparently not.
This is why. This whole conversation, by the way, is why Anthony and I back at the old place had to make a separate show just for MMO talk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
So Capcom has revealed Resident Evil Requiem started as an online game, but then they were like, that's stupid. Let's not do that.
It's okay. So yeah, I guess this happened early enough that it happened in the time like post all this mess where the extraction shooter Chase began to die.
Well, I think that like Capcom, for all their faults, is actually a pretty smart business.
Sure.
Right.
Like they are not stupid people. And as such, I think what happened is they like looked at it briefly, and they looked at that online mode that came with Village. I forget what it's called. I remember installing it, playing it for like one round. It was like, that's neat, and then uninstalling it immediately. So I just think that they honestly did look at it and go like, yeah, this is a dumb idea, and people just want to play Resident Evil.
I wouldn't
people
say
like Resident Evil.
I wouldn't say an online Resident Evil game is a dumb idea. It's just that people don't want it out of Resident Evil.
They've tried it a lot.
They've tried it before.
A lot. They've tried it so many times, and it never works.
Didn't they have a TDM shooter? Like wasn't that a thing for a while? And it was like a massive flop. Umbrella Corp, I think it was called.
They had Outbreak, Resident Evil Outbreak. That was also online. Yeah, like they had a lot. Like they have experimented with Resident Evil Online on a couple of different occasions, and it just does not play.
Yeah, no. What did you guys think of it?
It was called Umbrella Corp's 2016 spin-off tactical shooter.
Yeah, they've tried that recently.
It was a massive failure.
2016, like that's that was coming big at the time. If they couldn't get it to work then, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know what they're gonna do now.
Resistance. Resident Evil Resistance was the online survival game.
Yeah. Right. So they've been trying online for a while, and it's just not worked for them. And it's because Resident Evil's, it's a fucking horror series, right? Like at the core of it, it's survival horror, and you're not doing a lot of surviving or horroring online. Very few games have accomplished that, and even the ones that have, there's kind of a different vibe,
right? I'm sure there's a specific context in which this idea works, but it's so fraught with peril. And they're doing so well with their single player experiences. There's no real reason to change.
Like the last time Resident Evil had like a bad game was 6. Like I know a lot of people don't like 3's remake, and I'm like whatever on it. I'm like, it's fine. The Resident Evil 3 remake, in my opinion, is fine. But like the 2 remake and the 4 remake were just bangers. Village and 7 were just amazing. So why are we gonna go out and shoot ourselves in the foot?
Because they want all the money, right?
Why do that? Yeah, I feel like Capcom has one successful live service game, and that's enough. They got Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter prints all the fucking money in the world.
Monster Hunter, they got Street Fighter.
Yeah, Street Fighter's technically a live service. I only buy characters, so it doesn't register as much in my brain, which is probably how they get me. But yeah.
And then they were selling stuff for the Resident Evil 4 remake after the initial release, and people complained, but whatever, it's still a good game.
Yeah, like I also think that there is someone at Capcom who is doing their damnedest to lie to executives.
Right.
Like they'll be like, yeah, we got microtransactions, and then it's a bunch of shit you don't need or don't want.
Right.
Well, I think that's it goes back to DMC5 when they were like selling red orbs, and it's just like like I literally feel like this shit exists. Like it always comes out late. Red orbs were the only one that were there at launch. And they were like, "Oh yeah, dog, yeah, no, we got microtransactions. Don't worry." Red orbs. And then, and then no one buys them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I guess people just don't like microtransactions.
Oh,
weird. All right, whatever. We'll try them again."
Yeah.
Has Resident Evil ever done a 4-player co-op game?
No, they've done a 2-player co-op game.
Oh yeah, RE5 was obviously like its thing was 2-player co-op.
Right.
And racism.
Yeah.
But
and racism, whatever.
And when are they gonna try that again?
Exactly.
I've been waiting.
When the remake, Resident Evil 5 remake comes out. That'll be fun.
I'm writing
down a title. Hold on.
When are they going to try racism again? I've been waiting.
I just think 4-player co-op is a great idea in this day and age. Yeah. I think if you wanted to try not a single-player thing, how about just a single-player experience, but it's 4-player co-op? There you go.
I'm pretty sure another game. By the way, they did re-release it, and they just tried to do it really quietly. Because, like, you can't get around that the first 3 levels are so racist.
They're what they are.
And then you get 2 more levels later and you get into the swamp level and it's like omega racist. Like it steps up the racism.
That was like the turning point for me. Because when I played the intro game, I'm like, okay, like I've seen photos and documentaries about Africa. But then I got to the swamp level and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, no. Obviously there's still guys out there throwing spears and on little boats and shrinking heads, and they have freakish giant men. Of course, Africa has that.
Like I said, that was the turning point for me. I got to I played the first part and I gave them the benefit of the doubt, right? Yeah, that's awesome. I was like, okay, I will give them the benefit of the doubt here. And then I get to that
maybe
part.
They just don't realize that this whole warlord thing is racist. Maybe give the benefit of the doubt. And then they get to that part. It's like you have to know about these people to be this racist about them.
Yes, like that was But then I think about like the way Japan handles race, and I'm like, I don't think this was malicious. I just think this is fucked up. But okay. And then I think
listen. I think it gets to a point where I can't keep giving you the benefit of the doubt when you make a man wear a skull necklace and chuck a spear. That is pretty yikes.
Yeah.
I love that game for this. It's hilarious. Every year or two, I go back and I replay RE5, and it's a raucous, laughing mess every time.
It's a good game. It's a fun game. I like that game.
I mean, the actual mechanically speaking, it is very fun.
I'm just sitting here thinking, like, what if they did like GTFO but Resident Evil, and then like it's primarily like solving puzzles. You got to go around in a giant mansion. You're all locked in. I don't know.
I mean, I think you could easily make a 4-player Resident Evil 4. But it once again, it kind of just defeats the whole purpose. And then I also think, well, the perfect zombie shooter existed in 2009, and we still haven't gone up from there. So,
I mean, there's different kinds of zombie games. And we could still say Left 4 Dead is the pinnacle zombie game, but there are different kinds of zombie games achieving different things.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, if someone asked me what I want out of a 4-player zombie shooter,
true, Resident Evil's there, but the thing is that you're talking about. Okay, there's 2 kinds of zombie games that I feel are near fundamentally unrelated. There is hard zombie and soft zombie, and that is literally how physically hard is the zombie. All right, I shoot a zombie in RE2 and it takes the bullet. I can feel the bullet impact the zombie, and it kind of like smacks against it. That zombie's hard. All right. I go into Dead Rising and I shoot a zombie and it moves through it like wet tissue paper. Like, so like you're playing Left 4 Dead 2 and you're shooting guns at zombies, and it's like they don't register that the bullet passed through them until they're on the floor.
So I think that like Left 4 Dead 2 has both, because you have the special zombies.
No, because even when you shoot the tank, it eats the bullets. Like they just fall into it. Like it's made of butter and it's waiting for a certain level of bullet deposit before it falls over.
This whole conversation has made me want to play Left 4 Dead, by the way.
It's a great game.
Doesn't take much. Game. But I'm just sitting here thinking, like, between Dead Rising, Left 4 Dead, Call of Duty Zombies, GTFO, Especially in the era
There's
of
another
like
game
Lethal
we're gonna have
Company
to
and
talk
stuff.
about soon.
Yeah, like I think there's an avenue for a 4-player co-op, you know, and then I've had Republic Commando on the mind for the longest time.
Right.
I think there's room to make something like that happen, and then you have to make it uniquely Resident Evil, which again has me thinking like, all right, you got to go solve this or that, find this item to unlock this door, and go in and navigate a mansion or a city or something. I don't know.
All right, not a mainline game, but I think they need to make a Lethal Company for Resident Evil.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it, but yeah.
You gotta go.
I will say that
you gotta go grab research materials and escape, but you're just a guy. You don't know how to fight zombies.
Shit. Yeah, so I'm stoked about this though. The fact that they decided to go back to doing a single player game again.
After 7 and 8, like you guys are on a roll. Just continue with your new take on that. Make that your main line has to be single player. Keep doing that.
Rolling that into our next story, which is still about the same game.
Whoa! All right.
Leon they've been talking is a bad match for horror. They say he's too unflappable and brave.
I think horror is such a wide-reaching genre that is jarring. But if you're talking about scary horror, then yes.
Yeah. They have been trying to do scary since 7, and that's why they were originally going to have Leon in this game, and then they decided to go with this new girl.
There's a little bit of camp going on with 8 from what little I've seen.
Well, and the other part of this story is there's definitely there's a lot of rumor that Leon is still playable in the game.
Oh my god. Okay.
Even though they're saying he's a bad match for horror, but if you think back to a game like Resident Evil 2, where, you know, Leon his character is at least a better match for the situation at the time.
Yes.
And then you switch to Ada, who is like, if you were playing Ada from the beginning, a lot of the tension would be gone. The point of switching to Ada midway through RE2 is that you're switching to a more confident character who's more capable of handling the situation.
Right.
And that could very reasonably happen in a game like this. You could be playing your unsure FBI analyst, actually scared character, and then as events go on, you have your period where you switch to Leon for a period.
Your action. Well, they've said that you can play this in first or third person. Yeah, like you can choose.
I believe they showed it in the trailer.
They did. They showed it in the gameplay demo, and it was like, and I'm like thinking to myself, okay, yeah, Duncan, what this kind of feels like a red herring. Like, oh yeah, no, we're totally not doing Leon at all. And then you know, you switch it, and it's just like you're playing the game midway through. It's like, okay, like now Leon's gonna go rescue Grace, and like it turns into Resident Evil 4.
Dude, what if it's grizzled Leon?
Yeah. Importantly, this story comes from an interview with Koshi Nakanishi, the director of the game, where he explained why Leon was a bad fit for the game that they're making, but he did not explicitly say that Leon isn't playable in the game, despite that being the question they were asking him.
I'm excited for this game.
Yes.
Just like Resident Evil 4, my girlfriend and I are taking the day off for it. Comes out on Friday. Super excited. You know, like just
nice, good. Yeah, I downloaded the original 1, 2, and 3. I need to start working my way through them.
I just, my guy, you stop doing this to yourself.
It's an artifact of history. I want to check it out and have a bad time.
All right,
or you could do what I did and play 5 first and assume the games are racist.
That's a terrible idea too. Okay, look, if you're gonna do this, this is what I would do.
I already bought it, so whatever. But yeah.
For other people who want to get into Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I could see Emily just with her hand on her head, like, just God damn it.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so
love you, but goddamn.
Go ahead, Bronson. What's his plan?
Okay, so this is what you do. You watch the story of Resident Evil 1 somewhere on the internet. All right?
Wow, not even play
That's
the
it.
remake?
You just watch the story. It's fine.
Okay.
But it's not, it's kind of, it's not really similar to anything else.
Sure.
Then you go play the remakes of 2 and 3.
Right.
In the case of Resident Evil 2, you play both sides of the story, Jill and Leon. Then you go watch the stories of 0 and Code Veronica. And then you play 4 and 5. 6.
Yep.
I don't know because I haven't got around to it yet.
Yeah.
Like
from what I've heard, it's watch the story content.
Okay.
It's watch the story content of 6.
Like everyone, there's a bunch of people in our Discord who are truthers for this game. They're being like this game is so great, and I bought it for $4 last year, and I'm gonna get to it eventually.
Right.
But I reviewed it back in 2012 when it came out, and I think I gave it a 5 out of 10 and said it was a big piece of poo-poo.
Look, it's really important to note that this series at Resident Evil 5 jumps the fucking shark like crazy.
Right.
They do it in 4.
Fundamentally changes. 4, while being ridiculous, is still like they still have events going on that make fucking sense. Like there's still a sequence. There's a reason things are happening. 5 is fucking stupid. Like fucking Wesker has started teleporting. Like it's 5. Chris punches a boulder into submission while fighting in a volcano. It's such a level beyond of stupid. You at one point are on a giant military boat shooting mounted machine guns at a huge crocodile that is made of a man.
But like Resident Evil fucking 4 has midget Napoleon fucking controlling a zombie army that's not a zombie army on behalf of a fucking parasite wizard, and you're like, all right, sure, dog.
Yeah, but look, you can phrase that to play it straight. All right, you can make it sound extreme, and it is obviously extreme. All right, but they're playing it more straighter in RE4. In RE5, you go in there and there's a man that goes, I'm a weapons dealer. You're never gonna get me. I'm gonna inject myself with a bunch of bullshit and become a crocodile. And you're like, who decided? Who decided? Who did this? Who made this game like this?
I just once again, 4 has a lot of these same elements, maybe a little more scaled back. I do mean a little. But
again, it is crazy. You are fighting a weird cult in a castle, and like it's much stupider than 3. 3, it's definitely, you're definitely jumping the shark a bit from 3 to 4. I think it's the same leap from 4 to 5. I think it's 3 to 4 is very crazy. 4 to 5, the same amount of crazy increase occurs, but they were already kind of at the border of where you could be.
I'm looking forward to playing through and verifying one way or the other.
Okay, and then 6, you watch the cutscenes just so you know what's going on. But
I'm gonna play it because I like to destroy myself, but you know, whatever.
From what I remember, gameplay wise, it was very easy. If that's anything going for it, it was a super easy game.
Okay.
Weird. And then 7, and then do 7 and 8. Like you know, 7 and 8 are great. 7, I am not one who scares easy. In fact, I've played a good amount of horror games with my girlfriend, and it's significantly scarier with her because her reactions will cause me to jump scare.
Right.
Like it's like I have a third sense around me of just like, you know, super funny. But Resident Evil 7 was a game that actually got me, even on my own, to be like, fuck this so
I have
hard.
not played 7 and 8, but I can say that Resident Evil 2 definitely gave me the scares. Sure. And I'm not, it's the only game I can think of that did that. So,
man, they seem to be on the right track with Resident Evil. They will probably get a little closer. I mean, Resident Evil 4 remake did so well. And then Resident Evil 8 just had, what's her name? Just her the way she is on the screen is
right.
like kind of cheesy, but like in a good, in my opinion,
Lady
I find cheesy
Dimitrescu.
good. So I was like, yeah, all right. So I don't know, they could lean into that a little more. Seems like they're going more serious with this one, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
I would actually like it if they just alternated, like 7 serious, 8 we get a little campy, and then 9 serious, and then we get a little campy, and then I'd be fine with that.
I do think that that's their intent. I think that they're trying to go serious, and then they take that character that they put in a serious setting and they escalate him to campy. And then
they have a Fast Five like game. They get everyone together and they do a bank heist.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Zombie bank heist.
Yeah.
God, Chris Redfield is such a fucking absurd character, though.
Yeah.
Just like looking up the history, he was a U.S. Air Force pilot at 15.
Okay. Sure.
Oh yeah.
I can see that happening.
Speaking of Air Force pilots, Sonic.
Speaking of stupid shit.